So this video today is not really focused on too much of traveling, but I'm going to give you some updates. I've been getting a lot of questions asked about the Vietnam visa update. Things have changed, kind of. I got off the phone with my 2 lawyer friends back in Vietnam, and they gave me their thoughts on what's going on. And I talked to a guy up in Da Nang that works in immigration, and we became friends. You know, you buy a guy a beer, they're your friend in Vietnam. It's good. So all of this stuff I'm giving you are educated opinions from legal and government people in Vietnam. Take this with a grain of salt, as it might have some flaws and things might actually change here due to time. The process for updating, which we're going to talk about, is a 3-month visa, is going to update here possibly in the next 1 to 3 months, and it's still being worked out. Now, the reason for it, let me kind of step back a bit and give you an idea why this hasn't really happened yet and why Vietnam has been okay with it. Hold on. I'm actually at a train station here in Malaysia. We're about to go down south to a beach city. Exciting. Make sure you're subscribed to get those video updates. Let's talk about the reasons why Vietnam didn't really care too much about Western people being here or not. The first one is maybe quite surprising to a lot of people. Just people talk about retirement in Vietnam. It's not possible. It has never been possible to retire in Vietnam. Vietnam's never really had a means of staying here long term, like other countries like Japan, Singapore, and Thailand, for example, are good ones. So what was going on was there is a market to be built, and the government wasn't willing to do it, so people started to. People as the Vietnamese, they were making up fake companies and pretty much giving out fake business visas. They were real, legally speaking, but they were fake when the government started checking them, saying, hey, why aren't you paying taxes on all these workers that you keep giving business visas to? So that's kind of where that exodus, a lot of people like to talk about, happened. It wasn't Westerners being kicked out because they were scamming the system. It was Vietnamese people scamming their own governments, and a lot of Westerners are probably pretty aware of what was going on. But, you know, if they're going to allow it, screw it, let's do it. And that's why you saw a lot of non-married Western people never really having any means of work or anything. So they're just out here kicking it. And the other big reason is when they opened up the doors, the floodgates of pandemic is over, tourism is ready. I understand Vietnamese were locked in their houses and pretty much locked down for like a month and a half. So what this means is Vietnamese can't spend money. You know, Vietnamese love to go out, have parties, weekends are chaos, every night's a karaoke night. But this couldn't be done. So this meant there's a lot of energy kind of like there, and there's a lot of money they had saved. So what happened for like the next 3 months, and you can see this on the Bui Vinh video we went to Vung Tau on the videos. We did this like 4 or 5 months ago. It was packed everywhere we went. But you'll notice one thing about it, it was all Vietnamese people. So the tourism in Vietnam was actually extremely high. But the thing is those tourists were Vietnamese, they weren't Western people. But what's happened is Vietnamese are running out of money. They need to, jobs are starting to open, they need to go back to work. Things are, you know, life is starting to reset for say. So now Vietnam is lacking those tourists now. Now they don't have Vietnamese tourists like they used to. Like there's a back and forth with China being able to come. And the reason I bring up China is because the north of Vietnam, a heavy portion of their tourism are Chinese. So that's why they're starting to work on this. What the plan is with the visas, they're looking at a 3-month everybody visa. So if you're on that list to get an eVisa, you pretty much get this visa. 6 and 9 month and 12 months, I'm not sure about. There's nothing being talked about it, but the 3-month is kind of being talked about. Now, I did do some research outside of what I'm being told from my Vietnamese friends and associates. If you see vietnews.vn and a lot of these other like media outlets that are in Vietnam, they're focused heavily on teachers. Like now people, Westerners come out here and be teachers, yada, yada, yada. I'm not sure why that's even a concern, because a teacher out here cannot be on a tourist visa. That was made very clear by the new president. If you are out here working, you better have a business visa working on the work permit, getting your TRC. There is no exception no more. So if you're coming out here to work without a degree and no proper paperwork, you will be caught. The president has put his foot pretty heavy down. And these aren't rule changes. This is just following the rules of Vietnam. The North has always followed these rules. You were never able to really get a real job in North Vietnam without a degree. That's why most people were in the South, because the South don't give a damn about it. You know, they just needed Western teachers. So there you go. If you are out here to work, get an eVisa. It's $25, do it online. Check out the link if you want to do the eVisa through the iVisa site. They'll take care of everything for you. And get that done. Get out here. Find a job. Your company will take your tourist visa and convert it to a business visa. And in that 3-month period, that company needs to start doing your work permit. So if you come here with a 30-day eVisa, you can ideally, within 2 to 3 months, have a work permit and never once leave the country to do a visa run. So there is that option. If you are out here to seriously work, And then obviously if you're married, you have your own TRC set up like that. But that's what's going on now. Nothing is set in stone. And I was reading some of the government sites up in Hanoi. If you actually put it in Vietnamese, you'll get the real stuff. The English version is very watered down and they keep a lot of the politics and regulations out of it. But when you put it in Vietnamese, you start seeing what's going on. So they're trying to get tourists out here. They're not really focused on business visas. Is you have 90 days or 90 or 120 days from the day you come into Vietnam, start working to have a work permit. Your company has to have it done. If you are at this job for 4 months on a business visa, your company could be fined and you could be deported. I doubt you'll be deported. They'll just find the school and the school will have to hurry up, according to immigration laws. So I think this is gonna pop off here in the next month or two. Hopefully it does. And you guys can start getting out there. Honestly, I think in the next couple months they're gonna have to. Vietnam is suffering with tourism. It's going down a lot. And so who knows? Anyways, I got a train to catch. It's about to get here in about 5 minutes. So hopefully the information helped you out. But until then guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I will see you again.